incense. I was burning a lot of incense. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. Oh no. No, no, no. Any minute now. I hate that. I hate having a stuck sneeze. Look at the light. Look at the light. The bright light. Okay. The same receptors in the eyes can stimulate a sneeze. It's so weird. Eyes and ears and nose. All right. Let me go ahead and bring up your order, sweetheart. So I do have some that booked. I'm going to just call the names. I do see yours, Kobe. But I do see one from Xander and Amara and Victoria. Those I haven't seen yet, but okay, let's see. So this one is the love reading. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, sweetheart. I wish there was a way to get rid of the volume on here so that I can do the, but it doesn't seem to let me. Because if not, I don't have to log off. The whole point is, you guys, is that there's new restrictions now. So when you say certain words on here, when you're doing readings, or you use like a flag word or something like whatever, it can cut the reading, you know, LIVE, and it's very censored. So I apologize that I hop onto the letter YOU place. But that's where you can read openly. Sorry about that. All right, so I will be back. I do free mini readings. I hate yes and no. I hate them. Free mini readings where I answer questions. Sometimes I'll give away like three card answers and stuff, which those are awesome. But the yes and no is just, I just say yes, no, yes. It's just, I hate those. But I do a lot of freebies and I give away stuff too. Okay, so okay, sweetheart. Thank you for meeting me on there. All right, guys, I'll be back. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, sweetheart. How can I, we're going to do some crystal ball with you, right? Yeah, you like that. You like the way that goes. And then I'll do some tarot in there for you. So I'm going to start off just by seeing what I see in the crystal, okay? We're going to start off, and then you can give me your question if that's okay with you, and then we'll take it from there. All right? Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, give me 1 second, sweetheart. Let me just, oh, come on, iPad, really? So annoying. Oh. All right, this might sound a little bit strange, but when I look, I'm seeing the Gemini carrying something that looks like maybe a bodyboard or a surfboard, or there's different terms. Obviously, I am East Coast, so East Coast has different terms than West Coast. I don't know where you are. It could be on a travel. It could be him traveling. It could be doing something like a water sport. Now we're entering winter time. So a lot of places, they're not really doing a lot of that, but some warmer places might have kind of like the ending of some of those things. This can be a memory too from the summer. I'm not sure why, but that's the first thing that I saw. Has he been on any trip or anything, or is there anything significant that's coastal or water sport or anything that you can think of that is with him? I also see that a girl with shorter brown hair that is straightened spoke to him. So again, I don't know, this seems like maybe that's when he met one of these people. So this is the first thing we start off with. Okay, do you know that did he meet his ex in a coastal place? What connection does the ex have with him and a water sport, or him and surfing, or going to the beach, or something on the coast? Does she live on the coast? What is that connection? Because she's shorter than him by a lot, and she's got brown hair, so brunette has a lot of shades, but this would be like maybe a medium brown, and it's short and straightened. So, yeah, so do you know if they went diving or if they did some kind of coastal water stuff? This is because I'm seeing her speaking to him, almost like they don't know each other and they're starting to know each other. So this is when he's meeting a person, a girl. I gotta place that first and then I'll go on with the reading. So I want to find out what this is first. So is it his ex, or is it someone that... Okay, so you're all on the coast. Okay, so you're not that far from the beach. All right, that's fine. And you think that it could be his ex. Okay. Well, because of that, let me see something. Okay, so these are two people sitting on the beach, and they actually have blankets over their shoulders. So I don't know what you want to call it, beach throws. I don't know. When I say blanket, just a cloth over the shoulders. Okay, Callie. Okay. All right. So because these memories seem to be something that you're not in, because I don't really feel your energy in what I'm seeing. This could be his past. And in which case, if that's how it's opening, it can be that that's where he's headed, or that's where he's reconnecting with. All right. So let's go ahead and, do you have any questions for me? Because both visions that I saw are back with him, apparently in his past, because he's sitting next to a girl, the same girl that I'm talking about. In her skin, she's got on the shoulders very, very light freckle, very light freckle. Almost like none, not an apparent freckle pattern like let's say someone with red hair, but it's very mild. But she's got a little bit of freckling in the shoulders. This girl, so she's fair. Okay, so I got you. So we're gonna move on with your love question, which is very important. But when you wanted crystal ball. So because of that, my job is to really probe his mind, what he's feeling, what's going on with him. I just went in with the Gemini. That's what I figured that you wanted to know. I don't remember his name, but I just said the Gemini. Actually, the first question was general. I just didn't put anything in it. I just wanted to see. I just focused on you, and that's it. The second time, I wanted to see more, and I get both the same placement in time. So because of that, it lets me know that there's something with his past that is currently happening. And it seems like that was before you came along. So I now have to look and see if this is, a person that he's talking to now. Has he revisited that place, or has he reconnected with someone that reminds him of that time? Okay. Okay. All right. Another weird thing. Oh, the high school. Yeah, that can happen. Maybe it was the reunion. I didn't see that it was a reunion, but maybe because of that, because this is far back. Now, here's another thing I was going to say to you. The next thing that I see is him, using what it looks like to be an arcade. And those are really old school, but there's a lot of places that still have arcade games for fun, on different, especially in coastal areas where there's rides and snow cones and stuff like that. I know the South Shore, I know Jersey Shore, I know, all the places up on this coast. There's a lot of places that can be very beachy, but also have arcades. So there's something specific where I see him using an arcade game, but the old school style, the cabinet. Now that's not his time, obviously. So it would be something refurbished or something that's just there for attraction. Some shopping malls and places have begun to have that. So I'm not saying that that's him back when arcades were a thing in the arcade prime, but I'm saying that I'm seeing as an attraction that he's using one, is what I'm saying to you. So, in other words, it was a moment of entertainment. So again, it seems like he's connecting to, okay. Oh, he owns some of them? You mean is that what you're saying? Because this is a black cabinet and it looks lowered, kind of like, I didn't see the game, but it may be like Galaga or something like that, Okay, so this is very disconnected energy. If he is thinking about you and he is desiring to be with you, the first thing I would see is something romantic with both of you, either a conversation or something he, was sensitive about, or an intention that he has. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that, he's diverting his attention to his past and to fun. Okay. So because I'm seeing him, and so then I guess you're saying that's maybe his bedroom, or maybe, in his own private quarters. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a public place. I don't know where the game was, but it's fine. All I'm trying to tell you is, it doesn't matter the game. It doesn't matter what he's wearing. It doesn't matter, It's just that these are things that are showing me the connection with this man. The first thing I read on immediately when a person is in love, I'll see the guy's memory or his intention, or a fight they had, the guy and the girl, or I'll see of a special moment that he brought something up and I'll explain it and the girl goes, yeah, that's when he gave me a bracelet or blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm seeing such disconnected shit. It's that you're not in the picture. So I don't care what I'm seeing, you're not in it. So that means that he has not only, because if he was pissed off and angry, those are still feelings. Because for someone to be upset, it's still a connection. For him to completely dismiss and you just broke up and his energy is in such high school crap or whatever you want to call it, that's just, it's not powerful. That being said, let me go on and continue the reading and see where it's going to go. Now that we know that the connection is off, now that I know that the connection is not with him, with you, let's figure out where this is going now, what to expect. So I have a question to ask you. Kobe, did you use magic? Did you try to intervene his magic by you doing magic? Like a reversal or a cleanse or something for him to call you or something to change things, anything like that? Candles, anything where you tried to fix or repair or change? Hey guys, how are you? I'm in the middle of a paid reading. I always start off with a free crystal ball sessions for mini reads. All my stuff is on sale for Black Friday, and I start streaming on TikTok. I really do my readings on YouTube. This is where I prefer it, but a lot of times you'll see me start off with my free mini readings on TikTok, and I fulfill my paid readings on here because I like the environment better. It's not censored, and that's where I like it. Oh, hey, Mickey, not a problem. I'm finishing up a reading with a client, so give me 1 second, sweetie, so that I can finish her reading. Okay, so Kobe, did you get my question, sweetheart, or did you have a disconnection issue? Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. No, I didn't see it. I don't know why. That's so weird. I never have an issue with on here. No, I didn't see it. What was your answer, sweetheart? And by sweetheart, I'm just saying a term of endearment. It's very Southern. Sorry about that. That's so weird, Kobe. I don't know what's going on. That's okay. Anyway, I'll continue the reading anyway, no matter what it is. So I am seeing... Okay. Not a problem, not a problem. So that's probably why it's coming up. The thing is that I see that you guys were... Let me put it this way. I'm going to start the tarot reading in order, okay? And we're going to go over some things, and then I'm going to explain to you. I got you. It does play a role in this, but I'll address it, okay? Thank you for reminding me about the last reading. That's probably where it came from. In other words, that's probably why it's being mentioned again. Okay? All right, so this does talk about vindictive behavior. You know, you did this, I'm going to do this to you. You did this. Hang on, let me get my water. Sorry about that. Sorry. When you read a lot, your voice gets dry, so I need to sip some water. Okay, so this begins with very vindictive behavior. You did this, you're treating me like this, I'm going to do this to you. Then the reading gets into the fact that one person's isolating very badly. My goodness. So annoying. Sorry. The reading continues to explain how one person's boxing themselves off, being very reserved, not wanting to be talked to, you know, kind of being, you know, very, you know, very private. I'm not gonna address things with you anymore. You know, their wall is up. This also talks about someone's feelings just completely being devastated. So this would be you. It talks about you feeling a little bit worse emotionally with the connection in the next couple of weeks, which is normal. A person might be very feisty and angry and detached. And then all of a sudden, you know, starting to feel like instead of the numb or the upset, it kind of gets to a person. Sometimes fire signs can have a buildup of emotions that they don't deal with well, unless they have air. And if they have like an air moon or something, It can make them feel the feelings slower. They kind of slow it down. But a lot of emotions can bottle up and affect them very badly at once, you know. So today you might feel detached and kind of like whatever, but then it does show that there's going to be a lot of emotional devastation. So it's going to get to you somehow. And that's okay. That's part of, it's actually emotionally healthy sometimes. This also talks about the fact that there's a lot of like con artistry, a person doing shady things, a person being, just overall shady, a person doing things like, this is probably the magic. This is where in the reading it talks about the fact that there was a lot of trickery and gossip and ugly things that have been said and put in place by other people. But you know, that's what happens when two people have third wheels or nosy people involved in the relationship, like friends or whatever, just meddling, even if it's quietly in the background. And it talks about the fact that, yes, there's been magic. This is the part that's hard, okay? Yes, there's magic. Yes, there's a lot of gossip. Yes, it was ugly. Yes, there was a lot of crap talk and negativity. But the real, if magic sets the pace and the place for there to be an argument and to fight, you can't walk into the hornet's nest. If you're aware there's hexes and you've been aware, and you're aware that he misleads himself with his false readings, you have to be the strong one and not feed it, even though you might feel so tempted one day. That's what self-control is all about. And this is the hard part. You might get upset at me, but this is showing that you ended both of you by your words, by your behaviors and your words to him. I'm not blaming you. You're the one that was mistreated. You're the one that he did not treat you fairly and did not give you the benefit of the doubt, and that's trust and that's love. But I'm saying that the way you handled it, already knowing there was negative things trying to make you take the bait, trying to mess with you, because that's what negative hexes, negative energy, evil does, right? It tries to eat away at something, causing fights, causing things, already knowing there was this negative force, negative energy gnawing and gnawing away and trying to intervene in the relationship. You can't feed it. And this talks about you taking the bait. You know, this talks about no matter how, you were the one victimized, you were the one that was mistreated by him, you were the one that was not given the presents, and you were lied to and you were mistreated and he ignored you, and all emotional, ugly behaviors you didn't deserve. However, this is saying that the way you handled it, more than once, wedged the real war, really made things just clash. Maybe to you it was just verbalizing what you felt, your truth, but the way that they received it and the way that it was handled with him, he's not okay with that. But before that, because this is headed towards disconnection. You see? This is why you might be confused. These are the things that are not talked about, because I'm addressing hidden feelings. I'm addressing a wall up. So I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about what's going to happen. Because see, you already know that you're going to meet. You know that. You don't need anybody to tell you that that you're going to meet, because you already made plans. You need to know what's happening with all of that. And what's with all of that is there is trickery. There's going to be a conversation that doesn't go right, where you feel your buttons are pressed. It talks about there's a very big emotional thing here that I can't quiet. It does talk about you having a deep desire to have a family with him, you know? And I know that was one of the paths. I understand that. This talks about, you know, turning to spirituality, which he does in a corrupted way without him knowing it, and stubborn. And you do it because, you know, you try to get guidance, and that's fine. Both of you do that in your own way. You have that in common. This talks about you accepting his generosity in whatever it is that he does. It's to your best benefit if you just play by the rules. If he says, hey, you want to do this? Be like, okay, sure. Don't be like, yeah, I don't know. You're a jerk and I'm not sure. So this is saying that one of the best things you can do to avoid problems in the near future, which are around the corner, you are going to butt heads and all of that. If you handle it just like a little grain of salt over your shoulder and you just handle it very simply, this will be better for you. This talks about him taking things in circles. One second, I have to verify something. Okay, so one of you ends up leaving on travels and distance, and it causes confusion between both of you. Now, let me recap the reading so that you understand, okay? Today, you have an agreement where you and him are going to talk and meet and date and go on a date and talk and meet in person and talk about what's going on, and all of that is fine. No, hang on. So if you go to the old reading, former reading, I don't remember. It's in the archives somewhere. You can replay it, you know. I don't remember, but that's what they're for, for the client to listen to them again or whatever. I don't need to, you know, because a client usually refreshes my memory because I do so many readings a day. They'll be like, we talked about this. I'll be like, oh, okay. So we addressed something negative going on, but at the same time, I can't remember what the positive was, but I remember the negative was something was around the corner. I just don't remember the details. But let's get into this reading, okay? That reading doesn't get erased with this one. It's just that there's things from that one that hasn't played out yet, but this is kind of like linked and giving you more detail in the present and the very near future. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So let me recap the reading, okay? Number one, we begin the reading where I knew, you knew, we knew from before that you were in a weird place. And I remember, I don't know, you got some tips from me or something, which I do not remember what it was. But clearly you did something right because you were talking to him. At least you opened the door of communication. Wonderful. So we start this reading and I read the dice. And when I was reading the dice, you know, it felt to me like, I was doing crystal ball. Sorry, I was doing crystal ball. When I started with crystal ball, we start with these messages that are like the past, and I already knew his frame of mind is very distant. Okay, that's a detachment no matter what. So we begin with that, and it could have been the distraction of the friends and the reunion and all of that. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt too, because, you know, now when we go in to find out what's going on with you and him, you know, you let me know, you know, that you had these plans, he ghosted you, all these things. I am seeing the reading begins with vindictive behavior. So it could have been revengeful. Let me first find out if what he did was out of vindictiveness. Okay, so the reason for him ghosting you is You reap what you sow. In his mind's eye. That's not me telling you. That's me telling you what he feels and what he has felt. So it's basically, you may have heard him say the words, what goes around comes around. I don't know if you've heard him say those words, but this is what is very fresh off the energy of that card. What goes around comes around. You get what, you reap what you sow. Like you're going to get what you got. So this is vindictive behavior. The reading begins with revenge, like I said before. The reading goes on to explain that in the present time, one of you are acting very reserved. In a love reading, two people are intertwined. So it can be either the first person or the second person, but you are connected like a braid when I'm reading on the energy together. So it's either you or him. And I believe it's him who's very reserved and has a wall up and is not going to be available for you to understand his details currently. Now, on the other end, this talks about you getting into a phase in the next couple of weeks or so, so today's date is whatever it is, I don't know, the 25th. So if the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, whatever, around these times, maybe a little bit into December or so, around this time, this talks about, hang on, it could be up to the 4th of December as well, the 4th or 5th. But anyway, this talks about you feeling a place where an emotional shift, where you go from, I don't care, I'm numb, you're an idiot, to really massive like heartbreak, like it gets you in the feels really bad, okay? Drag your feet kind of thing. And then it talks about a person being conniving, a lot of like carnistry, like a lot of shady behavior. So this talks about, magic, or it talks about maybe he does something online to make you jealous, or maybe there was something that was done on purpose to keep him away from you, like maybe it was gossip. Remember that in one of the readings I gave you, I don't remember which one, it said that you were surrounded by enemies when it comes to him. Not everybody wanted you together, okay? So there's a lot of fake people. So if you sat and had tea with a bunch of people, they all don't like you. So that has odds against the situation. It also talks about him getting, a lot of advice from people that kind of wash his head with a lot of things, a lot of opinions and stuff, conspiracy theory kind of things, she's doing this, don't take that man, why are you going this way, just tell her to go fly a kite, the whole thing. Giving examples, not in a literal sense, but just like figuratively. Now, when I look into the hopes and the fears and stuff like that, when it comes to when you really face your emotions, so when you start, a little time goes by and you start kind of feeling what this feels like, the end or so, as you say it, it talks about you really having a heartfelt phase where maybe you get teary-eyed, or a couple of days of you being upset. And this talks about you really yearning for a family with him. So maybe you envisioned a kid together or something like that, or, the white picket fence with the little dog or something, because it talks about plans that you had in your heart and mind. And the thing is that in one path, it is a destined possibility as well. There's some strong sense there. All right. But it's difficult. That's why magic and enemies and all these things can strain a connection. It's think of it like a little plant. Someone hands you a plant that they sprouted from a seedling, and the little plant is now like about 8 inches, and it's starting to sprout even more, and it's doing very well. If you don't cater to it and have it get sunlight and nourishment and fertilizer and all the things it needs, it could die. Just because it's green and alive and luscious one moment doesn't mean that a couple days later that little plant won't make it. So in a way, sometimes connections are like that. They have this chance. And if it's not tended to or to flourish or whatever, that delicate nature of it can make it just completely change. Okay. So now the next thing that I see besides this heartfelt moment, more trickery, more gossip with this whole situation. For example, you have to be aware of things that can feed the gossip. So if you post online or you have something online going on and maybe someone that is gossiping with him sees it or he sees it and he thinks this or that, you could be feeding a gossip circle. So these are the things that, it's a great time to cut anything that he could see or block or clean up or do anything, because you don't want to add to being on people's tongues. So when people are bored and have nothing to do now, the holidays are coming up. Oh, guess who I saw? Oh my God, you'll never believe what she was wearing. You know who she was with? So, those kinds of things, you never want to feed that in these kinds of situations. If you're not, great, but just letting you know, because this is a time where there's a lot of gossip in the air and opinions. Now, this, like I said, talks about him turning to spirituality, and you do as well. This is not a good thing for both of you because you already know we've talked about that, but this comes up again in the reading. One of the best things that you can do in the near future is that if he's generous, then accept it. Even though your pride might be hurt and, let's say he ignores you and doesn't talk to you for a while and then he decides to talk to you and he offers something nice, say yes, don't be vindictive. The more humble you are, the more you lower your guard. Yeah, right, you really are going to have a very hard guard, but you're not going to show him that. Okay, it's just trying to tell you the name of the game. I'm trying to give you advice here. When he does reach out and he is being nice, just say, okay, thank you. Don't let him smell that you are offended. Don't let him know that you are vindictive or that it pissed you off. Don't let him see that, because the more docile you seem to him, the more you're going to get him to be vulnerable. Okay, now, where is this heading? This is heading in a situation where you are still going to be confused, and he is still going to be confused, and one of you speak again, by the way. He reaches out to you, and he speaks to you. You are both not exactly over yet. You're over in some ways. You're not over in others. This got out of hand. This is a situation that the magic was not cleansed and dealt with in time. It did his damage. You made some mistakes in the way that not with you being you, but you dealing with him was rock the boat. And the way that you both dealt with each other in the situation didn't help both of you. Are you over? No. You're over in some ways, but not over. I see that you will speak again because the reading ends giving some clues. I would get into a lot of detail, but this is a short reading. It's not too short. I like it. It's a good, the person gets enough info. The info they need. There's no need for extra details and everything. But I'm just saying to you, I'm a very detailed reader, so I go on and on with a lot of things. And when I kind of have to condense it, it's, I just want to let you know. The reading gives a clue where you and him are going to talk again, because this talks about one of you traveling outside of where you live. And when you travel, there's a sense of loss emotionally. So this lets me know that you're going to speak again, but your love connection is hurt. There's something hurting it. There's something blocking it. There's something not okay. So 1 second here. Okay. Couple of things. You will speak again, and you might even be romantically involved again. Do you hear me, Kobe? But this is not going to go anywhere. So I'm letting you know ahead of time because you need to know. You're not over. You are going to have a couple ups and downs. I've explained more or less what you're going to be going through, so you can know what you're going to expect. You are going to reach a point where you are emotionally attached again after the phases and stages I've addressed chronologically. At one point you will be going on a trip, or he will be going on a trip. There's distance, geographical distance. And around this time, you guys go through another separation and distance. Will you be friends? Yes. Might you become friends with benefits? Possibly. There's a high indicator that it may unfold that way. Are you going to end up together and pick up where you started or improve upon when you broke? No. I don't see this love taking wings, and I don't see this being where it has to be. Are you a candidate for magic, love magic, to reverse this and bring you and him together? No, you are not. And the reason that it's not is because he's a person deeply immersed in his own faulted beliefs. He's a person that constantly changes energy with false readings that he believes. He reads inaccurately the tarot, and he believes what he reads, and he's off, and he judges people, and he's blinded by his false readings. He's being led by a dark force, and he believes everything. And there's a lot of people like that. And what it does is it ruins his relationships. But you know what? It is what it is. Nobody's going to convince this person. You don't convince people like that. He's not speaking to his good forces or anything that protects him. He's being led by something quite demonic and quite dark, and that's his problem. He wants to obsessively believe in his lies. Whatever. Tell him to sit and chew on his little card deck, or shove him where the sun don't shine. But he's not going to stop believing it. And you can't really correct a person's energy like that when they are obsessed with their path and they're the right ones and everybody else is wrong. And then he likes to play with spells, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't deal with anybody else who knows what the hell they're doing. The blind leading the blind, and you don't want to be caught in the middle. So are you a candidate for this to be reversed? No, you're not, because I can easily whip something up and do a removal, break the hex, give you something where you could just say, oh yeah, no, let's just do this to spiritually cleanse, and it's really something to really, really shake things off. There's a lot of things you can do. No, you're not a candidate for them. Why? You would be wasting your time, your money, your effort. Why is that? Because he's going to continue in his own cycle. You are better off cleaning yourself spiritually. You are better off doing things for good luck, for good, I can do those things for you, or maybe you go somewhere else, but things that are for yourself, making you have better luck, making you open new doors of opportunity. Work on you, because the way this is going to go, you're going to have ups and downs and be caught in the web of love with him for a bit. And if you are, then you are. Life goes on. If you're not, then better for you, because you save time and effort. I don't see that you end right away. I see that you stay friends, and you may even be a friend with benefit situation kind of thing. But what I'm telling you clearly is that you don't end up together the way that you envision. So the way that's sought after. So you and him committed. You your boyfriend and girlfriend. You get engaged. The whole 9 yards. That's not happening here. But that doesn't mean you're done. If you want to entertain a friendship, as long as you don't fall for lies and everything else. If you want that, it's yours. If you emotionally need to be his friend or whatever, that's fine. You're going to have that opportunity. But just don't lie to yourself, and don't believe in this falseness. If you want clarity to feel better, you know, I'm just telling you which way the sun shines, you know? Okay. Now, remember that I just have to remind you, this is a no judgment zone here. Everyone that I read for is, you know, absolutely a wonderful human. And humans are not perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. And I want to let you know that today you might feel very strong, but the reading is saying that you get emotionally attached. The reading is saying that you're going to have your ups and downs emotionally. And the reading shows that you both connect romantically. And the reading shows that you also go through confusion stages with him. So I'm not doubting you. It's in your hands and it's your prerogative to do whatever is best for you. That would be wonderful if you kept, you know, what your plan. But nothing's perfect, and you are drawn to each other, and, you know, energy is weird, and you have a lot of things tampering with your natural energy in him. And sometimes hexes bring people close to then make them have heartache. So it's good that you have that game plan, mind over matter. Good for you. But if you don't, and you see yourself naturally take the course of the reading, you don't have to be disappointed. You just have to realize that a lot of times destiny kind of pushes things like a magnet. And, you know, and you know, when there's magic involved, it's hard to fight it. That's all I'm saying to you. Either way, you're going to be fine. Either way, you will grow from this. You will spread your wings, and you will go on to better things. And it is what it is. And hopefully you learn this curveball soon, and you go on to something better faster. At the same time, I do want to put your attention to the fact that, yes, he's at fault for all he did, but you're not a saint either. And I'm not trying to judge you. I'm trying to help you so that in the future you grow from this and never have to deal with this again. There were parts of this story that you made worse for yourself because of the way that you handled it. Maybe in the future you can look at it with scrutiny, and you can, you know, honestly say, okay, you know what? I'm going to improve in that area. And it's only going to help you, because by the time you meet the right guy, you know, it would be better if you had all of that squared away. That's how people evolve and they learn. So you're not over, which is hard. It would be clean slate if I said, okay, you're done. There's going to be things where you both drawn to each other. So that's very difficult. Right. And in the future, maybe go for someone whose signs match you better, because there is some kind of, you know, difficulty there. But at the same time, don't forget that destiny puts you two together for, you know, for a reason. Sometimes people are lessons, and sometimes people are mistakes they repeated from their past life. He could have been a mistake in your destiny line that was from a past life, and, you know, you were meant to not make it again. Sometimes that happens. People don't want to face that, but sometimes that happens. You know, sometimes there was a lesson to improve your next part of your life. So, you know, those things can be looked at into astrology, but, you know, it happens. So I hope it gave you clarity, sweetheart. It's over, but it's not over. And you also have to understand the magical part. Now, if you, you know, talk with your inner self when you have a spiritual meditation moment or whatever it is that you do for your spiritual practice. Ask your inner deep self, your higher self, what you should do spiritually, you know, for yourself. Like what feels good to you. Because sometimes when you address your spirituality, it can shift you in a better direction, if that makes sense. Annalise says, hi, I purchased tarot. Not sure if you have time. Yeah, no problem, sweetheart. I will do your reading now. Okay, let's see. I'm going to call off some names. Thank you so much, Kobe. Don't worry, sweetheart. This will pass as well. Okay, let's see. So I have, I sound stuffy, don't I? Sorry, guys. A little bit of a stuffiness there. I'm just trying to bring up my list here. So I do have, let's see, there's Xander and Victoria and Ameria, and I have Aniele, and I have Makita, right? So the next one is Aniele in order, and then I have Makita. Are you ladies in the room so that I can do your readings, or did they leave? Oh, okay, sweetheart. So it goes in order. I usually do order of invoice, so that way it's fair for everyone. So the order at 12:45 was Aniele, and then yours was 12:47. So Aniele was first, and then you were right after. So you got a few minutes apart, but Aniele was first. Okay, sweetheart. Go ahead, Aniele. What is your question so that I can address the reading? Unless you want to mix it like she did. You can do that too if you want. I don't mind. All right, so it's about 20 minutes. These are like 20-minute reads. Yours is a little shorter. Yours is like anywhere from 12 to 13, and then Yeli's is 20 minutes. How can I help you, Aniele? So did you want to do it like Kobe did, or do you want to start with the one? Do you know what she did? So okay, so some people really like my crystal ball readings. So sometimes I used to offer just full crystal, but some people want me to start with this, and some people just say, no, just do tarot, just go straight forward with it. Okay, so you wanted an insight on your love life for the next few months since you're ending the year. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Usually that's a larger reading. I don't mind. I will fit it into this, but it is time consuming because I usually do a horoscope with it using astrology, and then I also do it's a reading that I call Find My New Love. And I go, month by month by month. So this one is only 20 minutes, but we will see what we can squeeze in. Definitely. So I'm just going to, instead of doing it like the structure that I do for that one, because I cut it in time and then I go in order, and different guys show up, and it takes a while. That reading is like 45 minutes. But that's okay. I'm still going to address your love life in sequence, what's coming up, okay? We're going to do it like that. Let's see. Let me grab my other deck here. I sound like I'm getting a cold. Sorry, guys. I'm not. It's just a little one. Very little. But I am going to... I don't want to in the camera, so give me 1 second so I don't sneeze on camera. Okay, thank you. I had to have a napkin moment. Okay. Okay, here we go. Really? Oh my God, they're all falling. Sorry, guys. Let me get that. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, I have to reset this. This is driving me crazy. Stupid. Ah. And Yeli, you don't have to answer this out loud. I'm just asking, I guess, rhetorically, you know, what is it about you that you're so indecisive with a love partner? Why is it that you go after the ones that you know that they're not going to pan out for you? And when it comes to sending out vibes for the ones that would work out, why do you leave it so quickly and go on to the next one? Like you know what I mean? Like, you're very choosy. Why are you so picky? It sounds so bad, right? Because people are supposed to be picky. You're supposed to have standards, and you're supposed to know what you want. But you're too picky. What's going on with you? There's something off about you. Something off. Don't take what I'm saying personally. I'm very straightforward. Please don't misunderstand me. I don't. There's nothing hidden behind what I'm saying. I'm just very open. I'm very literal. Okay? Yeah, I don't mean it bad. I'm very misunderstood when I speak. I sound very rude, and I'm not. What's going on here? It's very, very, very interesting. Okay, so here we go. So, number one, this looks like you may like a Virgo. This is you being drawn to a Virgo, it seems, because, and of course it can be Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. That's the tricky part. But there's definitely some Virgo in this person. I do see this person being more fair. So you are drawn to someone who maybe has light eyes, or maybe they have lighter hair or something. And this person, there's a little bit of a clue of this person besides their fair description. So light eyes, lighter hair. They just recently either left where they were living. They left where they were living in a hurry. So I don't know. Okay. I don't know if they just had a falling out with their landlord or their roommates, or they were in a relationship and they left all of a sudden, or they were with their parents and they left all of a sudden, or they left school, or something was drastic and they left fast. It was something where they're just like pack and go. and they just went through that. So I'm not sure. There's also some music involved in some something of the connection. There's like a song or something. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but there's that connection with this Virgo. There's also the new one with a fair person that just left. There's another one that's going to seem very destined for you, and you may want a family. You may want to, I don't know how that works with she and children, and please forgive me. I'm not that learned in that, but I do know that some couples adopt while other ones already have a child, and other ones go through scientific method and stuff like that. I'm not sure, but I know that this is, this is a destined connection, because this looks like you may want to actually, when you meet this person, it leads to such a bond that a family formation may set in the desire, in the goal here. And this connection can be troubled because of someone romantically wanting to whisk one of you away as well. So it has a lot of weird bliss, whimsical feelings, and then all of a sudden there's a disruption, which lets me know you leave the person too. And then you go into another connection. And this connection has something kind of wild about it. Kind of like, there's something exotic about this one. So maybe she has Filipino or Pacific Islander or something unique in her background that maybe you don't have. So to you it's unique, or I don't know. But there's some element of surprise in travel. So either she meets you while you are, while she's traveling, or you're the one traveling, or she's the tourist and you're the local. There's something to that. And there's a troubling situation here with family, and the family part puts a wedge on the connection, and I'm not sure what that's about, but that one seems like the attraction to that one seems like it's like very, very unlike anything else, but the spiritual deep bond with the other one of the family one, that one seems really unique too. So it's tricky because these both really pull you in. Now then there's someone else, and this one has a spending problem, and you may not know it at first. This one's a little bit messed up. This individual has some troubling going on. So this talks about when this person lost someone early. It seems like sometimes you're drawn to really wonderful people, and then other times you like rescue puppies. Right? So it's sometimes you want the rescue puppy, the one that you get to just rescue. I don't know why, but this one is one of those like poor unfortunate souls that has a lot of problems. And the thing is, she gets a little bit obsessive. So this is spying and a lot of things. So this is why I'm saying this reading is showing over and over and over a flow of connections, all kinds, really interesting, but they're very short-lived. And I'm going, oh my God, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh my God, okay. And this keeps going. So this lets me know your love life will not be stagnant. It's going to continue, but at some point, I'd have to kind of investigate why, I guess. I don't have to do anything like that. I'm just saying as an astrologer, it makes me curious. What is this? What's going to be the closure of this cycle where it's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Goldilocks tried one pudding or porridge, and that one was too cold. The other one was too lumpy. This one was too, there's got to be something to this Goldilocks kind of thing. But yeah, it's not going to be quiet or boring. Now, let me see something. I believe that after the one that is spying, or the one that is the one that has a spending problem, the one that lost somebody, maybe she was an orphan, or maybe she lost a parent, or something happened to her, like really hard and stuff. But the way she makes you feel about yourself is unique. So it's interesting how each one of these people does something unique for you on their own that makes none of them really expendable in a way, you know. But it seems like your person, the one that you should stay with, is the one that's coming after this last one, the one that's with the spending problem, the one that somebody died, the one that has a nosy spying issue, and she's kind of tricky, and she's a little bit younger than the other connections. At least she acts a lot younger, the maturity level. Apparently the one right after that one is the one that will stick, the one that you should be with. Yeah. And there's an issue with that one, the one that you're meant to be with. There's something weird about her past, the one that you're meant to be with. There's something of a traumatic experience with her in her past. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that, you know. But there's that's the one that is the one that will stick, and you'll know it. You'll definitely know it, but it's gonna not at first. You won't know it first. So that's what it looks like. So that's the journey for now. That's what it looks like. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Oh, we have 8 minutes left. I'm sorry. Yeah, do you have any questions for me? We have 8 minutes left. If not, I will, I would keep going, but the closure of this section that I did finished. So that's why I'm saying if we have wiggle room for any question that you have. Yeah. It's chronological to each other. So what I'm saying to you is, we start at the current time, and what it does is I work chronologically and in sequence. The only thing I time with precision is like if I'm doing like a judicial reading, so something for court cases, that I have to be like right on the next day before sunrise, or 3 o'clock tomorrow, you know, stuff like that. This is just a range, but it's chronological. So for example, when you meet one, you know that the other one is not too far away. And then when you're with that one, when you finish, then the other one's not too far away. So you're also going to learn something when you clock your own timing. It's up to you, but if you know, decide to kind of assess when these are stopping and starting, you will know your natural time pattern, at least when I read. I know you don't know me that well, but clients that I've read for years, they'll learn their sequence belt time, and then they'll know when I read, they'll know, okay, this will be around 14 days for me because that's how when it plays out, or it's always 6 months for me, or you know, something like, there's a pattern to it. At least, you know, when I read. But yes, there is a time. It starts now, or there's something already in the mist. And then what's in close proximity is the time the new one comes into the time the one ends. So it's between 14 days, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. We got to realize the reading that you're asking for is long-term, within a year, 8 months, something like that. So if you were to just say, you know, what your love life looks like, for now, okay, I would tell you more about the one you're with, or, you know, maybe someone that likes you, or you know, whatever. But you asked me to kind of look at what further ahead. So I went further. So the further you go, the better you get answers today, but the more annoying, because then you got to wait for that to play out. That's the caveat when I go further into the future. So a lot of times if I take people up 10 years, there's a frustration because they got to wait 10 years to start. So then they'll see a couple of things happen, but then they still got, I'm reading 10 years ahead, 15 years, and it's like, what? You know? So that's the hard part. So I did take you into next year, just for you to know. So, yeah. All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Let's see. So this one is for, oh my goodness, what was her name? I'm so sorry. What was her name? Makira? Very pretty name. My fault. I'm not saying it right. Makita, yes. Are you there, sweetheart? So I can, thank you so much, Agnelli. Okay, all right, honey. So this is a love reading. What can I do for you? This starts with a question. So it's more than, you get more than an answer to a question. We get to see what comes up for you with that. But since these are short, I like to start with a focus point instead of, you know, a general, which can end up like an hour reading. It brings up so much. Okay, Gabe is the person. Okay. All right, we'll take a look. You do know that soulmate stuff and all of that is done when I do astrology. I am an astrologer as well, because that looks into long-term and soulmate. But tarot can pick up on those things if it's about to happen within the year or 5 years, or I will find out, okay? So the person is Gabe. All right. Do you know Gabe's sun sign? Just their sun sign. I don't need to know any other thing about their astrology. So there's their sun sign. So if they're a Taurus or Aquarius or whatever. Okay, he's a Pisces and you are? Pi. Okay. All right, we're going to start off with the, oh no, I thought it was cute. Oh, everybody makes typos. Are you kidding me? That's a human thing, especially with autocorrect. Don't you hate that? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do a, I'm like a published author, and you don't even know how many times I do typos on texts. It's like so annoying. Half the time I don't even see what I'm typing. I don't care. I'm like, whatever. It's all lowercase. I don't have time for that crap. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna just break the ice with an energy check. So this is a dice reading. This is a form of astrolomancy, and this is also lithomancy as well. So I'm going to just do this before I do the tarot. All right, here we go. Okay, the first thing that I'm seeing here is that the connection with you and him seem new. The connection that I'm seeing with you and the Pisces seems new. It doesn't seem like you have many years together. This seems like a fresh connection. Quite new, I would categorize it. And that's important because some of the energies that I'm seeing from the past just show up because when something's new, there's not enough history between the couple yet. So, okay. So the dating of many years is, there's been so much that has happened that it's not registering as all of that is coming together and just like it's all like time stopped, like time never stopped. I mean, some people have that energy. For you guys, it seems like the distance caused enough of a new beginning enough. Sometimes when people break and stuff, they change so much that when they get together, it feels new. So this seems like a short time. So we're going to take it from the time that you rekindled. All right. The reason is that I picked up on a lot of fear, especially from him. You may not let out fear vibes. Maybe you feel them, but you don't let them out. You're not easily as read. Where he, on the other hand, he seems more sensitive to me. And more emotional in a way. It's funny because you're the female and female Scorpios are very tender, but he seems very sensitive. And this talks about, there was a part of his past he's glad is done. This talks about him having, a part of his past that he is happy to have, he's come a long way. This also talks about someone that he did have a relationship with in the past. They're very much in the past, but it does show as heavy. It seems like you're showing a lot of effort where your vibes and your energy are more open, like willing, and he's just not sure. I mean, he is, but he doesn't really know how you feel. It's kind of interesting because being a Pisces, you would think that he would really know what you feel. And at the core, he does. But there's a lot of things where you are hard to read. You being the Scorpio, you'll see bullshit a mile away. Whereas there's a lot of things about you that he feels right away, but he's still intimidated by you. He's a little bit more not as secure, and he's not sure if you're sure. And that's his own fear. When his own fears clog his head, he doesn't know how to read on that. So I think he's in love with you. It sounds like he is. We're going to take a closer look. You still got to work at getting closer, though. You're not to the level of closeness that you're supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why you register like a new energy in a way. But there's a fear that's old. There's a fear that's old there, and it comes from him. He's also afraid to live what he's lived through, Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here about you and him and what's going to happen. All right, this brings us into a situation where did you approach him after an event? So this is bringing up a situation where it's like, you know, where, okay, like the ending of a party or the ending of a movie or the ending of, you know, maybe a dinner, or when an event ended, or maybe it was work, a shift at work. When event, I don't know how to explain it. When an event ended and you took the initiative. So did you say hello to him first or reach out to him first after something finished? I know that sounds so weird. I'm trying to explain it. Sometimes I explain things like, I don't know. Let me know if I'm explaining it clearly. Okay. So when you guys, so this is bringing up a situation where an event ended. So when you guys, okay, this time around, but when you guys ended, did it happen at an event? Did something happen where you attended a friend's party or a wedding, or it was a dinner, or you went somewhere that would register as an event, a concert, a club, you know, I don't know, where when it ended, you took the initiative first? Because this is how he can't forget an ending. Is that clear to you? I'm at the point where to begin what you finished. So let me put it this way. The reading begins with Scorpio and an ending to a friendship, which lets me know you guys were friends first. You already addressed, that's why I'm not reading that, because you already told me that you reconnected, so there's no reason for me to read that. Let's go on to the next part. So this talks about the way that he anticipates the fear to end again. And this is a reminder of after an event, someone took initiative first. So I'm talking about how you ended. When you had a falling out or you broke up, what was ending that was epic in that moment? So, for example, was someone leaving for school? Was he visiting for the holidays? Was it a concert? Was it a wedding? What was it that was taking place that was an event, a calendar event, where after that is when the breakup began, and it started with the way that you said something or the way that you addressed something. Was that more clear now? Because his fear, okay, but was it at an event? Was it at something that it would be categorically an event? Remember, these are okay. So it was at a friend's place. It wouldn't be your home and it wouldn't be his home. It would be a place or an event. So I gave examples. Okay, a racing event. Okay, there we go. And you addressed something harshly. Would he feel, because this is about him feeling that the way that you addressed what the problem was, you were harsh, and that's how he felt. Does that make sense to you? This reading is about what he feels. For me to look into your love life with him, you know what you feel. I don't need to tell you. I need to look at what he's feeling. I need to look at what he's thinking, and I need to know what's going on with him. So this talks about the way that he feels that you spoke to him, the way that he feels you're a hard ass sometimes. Is that more blunt? Okay, here we go. Okay, so this talks about an affair or treachery or backstabbing. This talks about being, so this talks about duplicity, trickery, lies, Okay, that's all ugly stuff. This talks about the fact that he also had a victim mentality, like saying, oh, now you did this, now you did this, and what else can you do? So this is the mentality of, you know, piling on the you did this, you did this, you did this. So this is accusatory. This talks about him feeling like you did not address his feelings. Kind of like a power struggle here. Do you have any fire in you? Sounds like you might have some fire. Okay. This also talks about him being left with a very bad mess behind. So you did a number on him. Maybe you didn't feel like you did, but you did. So that was a bit traumatic. Whatever went on. I'm talking about just the way he felt. He struggled a lot with not only work and whatever he was studying or doing at the time. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next thing here in a minute. Okay, so I don't know you, so do not take offense to what I'm saying. I don't mean it in a bad way because I don't know you. I'm not judging you, but I don't know how else to say it. Don't fuck it up, because this talks about, you know, you being to him the way that he's taking it, you know, shady. Stop being secretive and stop being deceptive. I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying that the things that you do make him feel like you could be. So this is a time to put in practice, explain what you don't want to explain. Go into detail. I don't want to get into it, but this happened today, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. Or you can say little things like, I feel this and this and this, just in case you're picking up on it, but I don't want to talk about it. You know, whatever, just give him little clues, give him little things where he feels like, okay, she's opening up. Okay, I see it. Because you tend to be, your behavior tends to leave him worried and kind of like in the dark sometimes. And then he's got his sense of feeling, which is really cool, the way he feels things. But you're hard to read, and you just don't want to share things you don't want to talk about. You're very secretive in your own natural way. You don't want to sit there and talk about something and feel vulnerable or whatever. But it would help your relationship. So this is one of those things where you have to like say, okay, this behavior can either hurt the relationship or help it. And you could either decide to feel good and be yourself, or you could say, okay, no, I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to push this behavior on myself because this is going to nourish the relationship. The relationship is like a little tree and I have to give it sunlight. I don't want to, but I have to. This is going to help it. I think that the marriage question, to be honest with you, is too complicated, the story of what's going to happen, to answer it right now. Of course, if we did astrology, not that I'm pushing a reading, I'm not. I'm actually telling you, don't even bother right now. But that kind of says, a lot more of the story. But I'm telling you, it's too stressful to look into. I think you should focus on just right now. This relationship is going to blossom. It's going to have some obstacles from here to the blossoming. You are going to have another chance together. But a lot of it is on how well you do not follow your own karma. So everyone has good and bad in their destiny and tendencies and all of this. And sometimes lessons are, sometimes people get a second chance for things. I'm not saying, oh, you're the bad one and he's the good one. Absolutely not. It's it is what it is. There's always a reason, right? But I'm saying to you that because the relationship is important to you and he is in love with you, he does feel very deeply. And I do see that it has a very good potential of blossoming. I think that it's in your hands. It's one of those like weird situations where it's like some things are just going to happen because they're going to happen. And sometimes it's up to the person. Both of you have to work on things. He's got to let his fear down and kind of forgive and let you know, whatever it is, he's got to be less doubting because he can be very cynical. He can be very, very cynical with and push you and be, he's difficult too. He can be very stubborn too. And sometimes act like there's just no care in the world and he has to step up and do more. So he could have like that lazy vibe as well. But I see that there's so much happening in the current life that just focusing on marriage, it's complicated. If I had to squeeze an answer right now, which is terrible, because I feel it's just spiritually, it's just not something to answer at this time. And you'll live through some of this story and you'll be like, okay, I get it. Right now, it seems ridiculous. You're like, I want the answer. If I had to squeeze an answer, I'd say you don't. But I know well that there is a possibility. I just think that the story is going to unfold very complicated and there's going to be a lot of hurdles to go through, but I do see that you get through it and there's a lot of good in this relationship. This is about you trying, both of you. If you wanted it, it's in your hands. There's too much going on though. That means that there's going to be things that go on between both of you that make it difficult. That means that I'm already seeing that there's going to be some storms. But overall, the connection is very strong and destined, obviously. You got a second chance. So I would say that the wedding answer is not, I believe you have to work with the positive things of your relationship to form it into a yes, which is very possible. Naturally, I would say that it's not going to end up that way. But I'm already telling you that answer is not comfortable. The way that, some things are so complicated with people and situations and arguments and complicated things that are going to be happening. It's not fair to squeeze a yes and no. Life isn't like that. He can invest in your business. There are paperwork that if you're not married, then you can easily dissolve. I mean, it's basic business law. That's why when you sign proper documents and proper things, and it depends on the state that you live in, those things are done with attorneys. And the right thing to do with anything in business, if someone you're not married to is investing in your business, the smart thing to do is to do it legally, properly, so that if there's any dissolvement, you don't lose your business and he can't sue you. Not that he would or anything like that. I don't know. But, it's investing in your business can be done by anybody. It's a partnership. But you have to be very careful because if you don't work out and he wants to own your business, he can. So that's why if you're going to make a legal step, you got to make it wise. And if you're talking about children without marriage,
he's also very romantic. And Pisces men are like Romeo and Casanova rolled into one. He's also going to tell you he wants to, you know, build you a dream castle, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. At the end of the day, would you sit and have children with someone that doesn't, you know, is not married to you or proposes to you? That doesn't seem very Scorpio, you know? So I realize that he's saying a lot of romantic things. He is in love with you. Maybe his intention is to do that. But just because he's sweet talking you, because he's really wants you and he wants to, he's scared of losing you. He's scared of what you've been through. That doesn't mean that, you know, it's ready for marriage, because it's not. You can do whatever you want legally, of course. It's your prerogative. You can sign papers tomorrow. But you're asking me about spiritually looking into the future and how this is going to play out. And it's complicated. So I would say that this is contingent upon both of you knowing that you can make it work before you marry the business and before you marry into creating children. There's a lot more to consider, because I see that there can be ups and downs. And you got to get through that first. He's got to learn to trust that you love him, and you have to know that you love him and know that he's the one, and you're not going to be uncomfortable and not want to let go of things you don't want to let go of because of your bachelorette or your strong family patterns that you love and you're drawn to, and they're your safety net. And you also have to know how much you're willing to give up, because Scorpio female sometimes does not want to give up certain things. They have an independence, and they have a certain thing where, depending on your moon and rising, it can set the pace. And you're not willing to bend things that make you uncomfortable. So that's why I'm saying to you, he can say sweet things all he wants. It's the situation's not ready. It's not ready, you know? Yeah. The thing is that he's very in love with you. He has been in love with you. He's very genuine in what he feels. But I think that there are some worries that you have that he can't take away. There's a lot of things that you need for success, for you to feel like you're fulfilled. You have a lot of goals. Female Scorpios are usually workaholics. They are amazing when they're very goal-oriented. And they're not okay with anything that's going to derail them from where they're headed. And he may not have the same drive that you do. And there's a lot of things that you want for your independence. And there's a lot of things that you're not willing to give up and submit to him, which can be very difficult for you, very challenging. So that's why I'm saying you have to see how comfortable you feel. So I would say, to end this reading, that you both continue to have a future. He does feel genuine. He feels love. And I think that you have to go through some phases together to see what you're made of, because I see some ups and downs, but I see a lot of good here too. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. The marriage part is difficult, and it may not turn out that way, but there's a big possibility that it can. And it's contingent upon the way that you both play out, how well you can get through the next 6 months together. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to just say yes or no. It's harder to do a reading where I'm trying to tell you that this is a flexible area, but it's the truth. There's wiggle room here. So I hope this reading gave you clarity, and thank you very much for choosing me to do your reading. And again, congratulations on this connection, because it is good. I'm glad that you guys have another chance. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Pisces males are usually lucky, and they're very creative. But the strength of both of you, it would be you. The strength of the home and all the big decisions, that would be you. You wear the captain hat. You're the Scorpio. So there's going to be something very, very powerful about what you want and what you don't want. And he's going to have to submit if he loves you. And he will. Pisces is very understanding. All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Be safe. Love and light and happy holidays for those in the U.S.